Most people are completely missing where the money is going in AI. Hello, I'm Lynn, and this is Lynn's 10-minute alpha, your 10-minute edge in finding the biggest opportunities. Elon Musk is launching XChat on April 17th, and most people think this is just another messaging app. It's not. This could be the beginning of a much bigger shift, a shift in how data is captured, a shift in how AI is trained, and ultimately, a shift in who controls the next generation of digital power. Let's start with what just happened. A lawsuit hits Meta. It claims that internal staff and external contractors may have had access to private messages inside WhatsApp. Now, whether those claims are true or not is still being decided. But here's the part that actually matters. The moment people start to question trust, the damage is already done. Because in messaging, trust is everything. You don't switch messaging apps because of features. You switch because you no longer feel safe. And right in the middle of this uncertainty, Musk makes his move. XChat, launching into the App Store. Timing like this is not random. Now, here's where most people misunderstand the situation. They think this is about competition between apps. WhatsApp versus XChat, Telegram versus Signal. That's not the real game. The real game is data. This is the first major turning point in this story. Messaging is not the product, data is the product, and more specifically, private, high frequency, real time human data. Think about it. Public social media posts are curated. People filter what they say. But private conversations, that's where real intent lives. What you want, what you fear, what you plan to buy, what you're thinking before you act. And in the AI era, that kind of data is gold because AI doesn't just need information, it needs context, it needs behavior, it needs patterns. So if a platform controls your conversations, it doesn't just control communication, it controls the raw material that trains future AI systems. Now let's look at what Musk is actually building. XChat is not just chat, it's built with a different architecture. He's pushing end-to-end encryption by default, and he's talking about Bitcoin-style encryption, though experts say that term is still vague. And more importantly, he's integrating AI directly into the chat interface. This is the second major turning point. Chat is no longer just communication. It becomes an interface for AI. Imagine this. You're chatting with someone. You upload a file. Instead of switching apps, AI processes it instantly, summarizes it, analyzes it, helps you respond. Now your messaging app is also your AI assistant. And this changes behavior because once users get used to that workflow, they don't just communicate there. They work there, they think there, they decide there. And that's how platforms evolve. Not by replacing old features, but by changing user habits. Now let's talk about competition, because this is where things get difficult. WhatsApp has scale, 2 billion users. That's not easy to break. Network effects are real. Your friends are there, your family's there, your clients are there. Leaving that is painful. But Signal has trust. It's open source. It's nonprofit. Security experts use it, journalists use it, governments use it. That kind of trust, that peanut hid, it is not bought, it's earned. Telegram has functionality, massive groups, channels, bots, entire ecosystems. So where does XChat win? It only has two real chances. First, AI integration. If XChat becomes the easiest place to use AI in daily life, people will move, not for chat, but for productivity. Second, payments. This is where things get interesting. If XChat connects with X Money and enables peer-to-peer payments, crypto transfers, cross-border transactions, then it's no longer just messaging. This is the third turning point. Chat becomes financial infrastructure. And if that happens, you're no longer competing with WhatsApp. You're competing with PayPal, with banks, with entire financial systems. But here's the reality. This doesn't happen overnight. WeChat didn't become a super app in 1 year. It took time, it took ecosystem building, it took regulatory alignment. And the West is different. Payment systems are already mature. Regulators are more aggressive. Monopoly concerns are stronger. So the question is not, will XChat succeed immediately? The real question is, can it build a new behavioral loop? before competitors react. Now, let's bring this back to what matters for you. Most people are asking, should I use XChat? That's the wrong question. The right question is, what does this change about where value is created? Because if messaging becomes the entry point to AI and AI becomes the engine of productivity, then whoever controls that entry point controls the flow of value. And markets will eventually price that in, not immediately, but over time. So here's how I think about this. Right now, XChat is a product, an interesting one, but still early. If payments integrate and AI adoption sticks, it becomes a platform. And if it reaches scale, it becomes infrastructure. That's the progression: product, platform, infrastructure, and each step multiplies value. So I'll leave you with one question. If messaging becomes the gateway to AI, which platform would you trust? With your conversations? And more importantly, which platform do you think will win that control? Comment below. I read every single one. If you want to stay ahead of where the money's going, like and subscribe. More alpha coming.